So, listen, everybody, just bear with me. A friend of mine who I'd met years ago, and I'd met at one of the darkest times of my life. I'd met her in jail, but we'll get back to that. So, she asked me to share my story and my testimony. So, I'm a writer, it's what I do. So, what I did to make it easier on me, easier on all of us, is I wrote it down. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to share it with you. I might trail off in between some parts, maybe if I want to add something, but just bear with me. I just want to tell you a little bit about me, my life, my journey with Christ. Again, I already told you this part. An amazing woman of God, a young lady I now call a dear friend. She asked me to share my story a little bit of how we met, or rather, how God met me where I was at. And when I met her, I was at one of the lowest, darkest places of my life. But we'll get back to that because to tell you about me and my life, first we've got to go back. Okay, we got to go way back to the time in my life when I first met and desperately needed Jesus Christ. Okay, so that was in third grade during what I would say one of the hardest times of my life. Okay, so by that point, I'd already seen my fair share of fighting abuse, addiction, and trauma. By this point, my parents had already been separated. My mom, for reasons I was young, unbeknownst to me, decided to drop me. And as in my young mind, she didn't just drop me off, okay? She abandoned me. That's how I seen it because I was young, but even though I was young, I was smart enough to know that a man addicted to alcohol and heroin, he wasn't really fit to care for us. And all that of my memories as a young child, I just remember my parents fighting. I remember my father beating my mom. So those are the memories I have. So it's sad, but unfortunately, those are the memories I have of my father, memories I have of them together. But I didn't know much, but I knew it wasn't a good place for us, okay? So, and it wasn't just me she dropped off. She dropped off my brother and sister too that were younger than me for me to have to take care of as well. So, that's a lot on a little girl in third grade. Let me see. So, needless to say, at that point, I desperately needed help. So, in third grade, a little girl came in to show and tell, and she told us about Jesus. Oh gosh, and just the light and the fire and the excitement I seen in her, even at such a young age, I knew. I didn't know that man Jesus, but I knew I desperately needed him because my life was a mess and it was hard and I needed help. So I went to my teacher who always seemed to keep a special eye on me. Like she knew at home I was really going through it. And so I went to my teacher and I didn't expect I was going to get emotional, but a little bit. I went to my teacher and I told her, I said, I don't know that man Jesus, but I know I need him. And she sat with me in the corner and she prayed with me. And I asked Jesus into my heart that day. Okay. And I wish I could say that my life changed from that moment on instantly for the better. But unfortunately, it didn't actually. Um, for many years, it got worse. So much worse. And at first, I just hoped, okay, I'm going to make it to 18. I'll be grown. I'll be free. I'll go live my life, right? No. That's not how it happened for me, guys. Okay. So I ended up pregnant at 17. Okay. And by a man who, on the surface, he seemed to have it all together, right? And he promised he was going to love me forever. Then he introduced me to his best friends. Their names were Molly, ecstasy, and methamphetamine. So they would inevitably destroy us, him, and ultimately me. And after about 13 or 14 years, I would finally leave, but it would be many more years after leaving that I would ever get free. Okay, so when I first left, I'd been a stay-at-home mom. I didn't work, and I didn't know what to do. Okay, y'all, it was hard. It was hard to see. It wasn't easy. Like I couldn't just leave. Single mom with 3 kids. I'm gonna be honest. There wasn't a lot of help out there. Okay, for somebody going through what I was going through, there really wasn't like a bunch of flyers. Hey, single mom, need help with your kids? Get on your feet. No, there was none of that. Now there was rehabs and this and that. At that point, not yet. I didn't need to rehab yet, but that would come because I turned to the alcohol. I cope. I didn't know how to do it, guys. I'm just gonna be honest. It was hard. And I started drinking. And before I knew it, the alcohol started to control me and my life. And it became unmanageable. It became out of control. So now by now you might be asking yourselves, where in all of this, right? Where's God been? Where's this Jesus that I met in third grade? Oh, don't worry, over the years I asked it too, because even though I asked Jesus into my heart, God, my life was hard. And I remember as a little girl, like I would cry, like, God, why? Why did you even bring me here? Why? I didn't understand. And I spent a lot of years angry at God, not understanding, but he was there. Okay, he was in the details, woven precisely into even the darkest parts of my story, and it would all work itself together. Romans 8:28, God would work it all together for my good. Okay, so it's only by the grace of God I'm even still alive to tell my story today. So through all that time, I can't actually count all the times I lost my life, should have lost my life. Like I shouldn't be here alive today. Like one of the times I can show you 26 stitches. Okay, guys. And I'm going to be honest. It wasn't because I didn't want to die. Honestly, I'd already been to jail so many times for my drinking. I was scared to go back. And I thought, I'm just going to pretend suicide to not go to jail. Hey, guys, I was drunk. It was no pretend. Okay. I had 26 stitches. I laid in that floor and I bled for over an hour by myself before help even came. Like how I'm still here today. It's only by the grace of God, y'all. Okay. I'm telling you. All right. But even though I asked God into my life in third grade, like nobody taught me along the way. Like nobody taught me about Jesus. Like it wasn't in churches that I learned. Like my parents weren't taking me to church, things like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't surrounded by believers. Like I learned through life. Okay, I learned through life, through those moments when he showed up, when I just knew he was there and I just knew it was real and I just heard him and I just felt him and I knew that there was just no other way. It just had to be God. It had to be him. Okay, so that is how my relationship was built. Okay, it's not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still growing every day. It's a work in progress. Okay, and you know what? The problem, if you ever get to where you're not learning or growing, then that's a problem in itself. Okay, guys, because we should always be growing and learning and developing and changing. Okay. But okay, let me see, getting a little lost here. So it took a lot of trial and error before even starting to get it right. And all those errors are what led to me meeting Miss Stacy. Okay. Because and that time, oh, that was another time God saved my life, y'all, because I was out in those streets by that point. I was addicted. I was homeless. I just lost my grandma. And I decided I would let somebody stick a needle in my arm. Oh, I was like, done. I didn't, guys, I'd given up. I given up and I wasn't like my dad shot himself when I was 13. So right, it wasn't like I didn't have the nerve or the, guts to pull the trigger myself, but I was just slowly killing myself over time. Guys, okay? So I made that choice and I thank God that the cops picked me up quick and they put me in jail and they sat me down and I prayed, God, like help me, Jesus, help me, okay? And that's where I met Miss Stacy, okay? And she wasn't like some of the other Christians or Jesus people that I met over the years or along the way. No, she was real. Like she was like me. She looked like me, sounded like me. Like I think she even had some crazy pink in her hair. Like she was just real like me. And she just showed up with the love of God. Like she just gave me hope and encouragement that like I could make it. I could be okay. Okay. Let me see. I got a little off track here. Okay, so through her, I felt God's love. I felt hope. She seemed real like me. She didn't judge me. She's only ever since loved me and cheered for me and encouraged me and believed in me and for me. Okay, so hold on. So now, okay, where was I at? So anyway, I met her, we went our separate ways, but over the years, we kept in contact. And no, I didn't just get out of jail and just get it right, y'all. No, absolutely not. Okay. I got out and it was still a long, hard road ahead of me. Okay. But God was always with me through the ups, through the downs, through the trials, through all my wrongs. He never left me, okay? And he just stood by me and he walked with me, okay? So he's been restoring my life and my family. It hasn't always been easy or perfect, but God does what he says he will do, and it will be worth it. I lost a lot of years, and it would seem, but I count them lessons, that I can be the hope to another, that Jesus' love is enough, okay? That there's nothing we can do to separate us from his love. There's nothing we can do to make him give up on us, okay? He can get us through anything. He can heal anything, restore the lost years. Like that, I look like this is a miracle, y'all. Okay, my teeth was jacked, my hair, I had bald spots, like thin, falling out. Like I look rough, y'all. Okay, how God turned it around, a miracle. Okay, I may have seen a lot of darkness, but I've also seen miracles and God's hand in me and my life. Okay, I know it's possible to find your way back to the light. Okay, so my desire is to go out on the streets to be a love and the light and the hope that another might need. Okay, because when I was out there lost, I felt alone. I felt like no cared, and some people reached out along the way, and those were the ones that I have the fondest memories of, when I was homeless and they came and gave us plates and gloves and coats. It's just the little things, guys. Okay, so don't give up, keep getting back up, trust the process, patience is key, learn in the failing and fall forward. Okay, so we're going to make mistakes, we're going to mess up, but just keep trusting God, keep seeking, keep believing, and just don't give up. Okay, this isn't something that'll happen overnight, it's a whole new way of life. Okay, so don't just like, oh, everything's perfect. No, we grow, we learn, we change, we fall, we get back up. Okay, we just keep going and we just trust that God's got us and he's going to get us through. And if you can, go out there and love somebody else today, because you don't know. Okay, people don't just wake up one day and decide that they just want to be a homeless addict. Okay, it doesn't happen like that. Life happens, things happen, unexpected events. Okay, you never know what has happened, and you end up in places you never expected to be. Okay, and people just need help and they just need love. Okay, so um if you're interested in my sweatshirt, God uses broken people like me, go check out the website, We the Believers. Use the product code Blessed Red, and you get 20% off. And then that 20% off, I want to use and go help out others that are in situations where I've been. I just want to share the love and light in Jesus and give others hope, because, guys, there is another way. Healing is possible. We can have a better. God really does do what he says he's going to do. I'm telling you, okay? So, don't hesitate to reach out. If any of you feel lost, alone, you're just going through it. Okay, I promise I don't judge. There's nothing that you have been through that I've not seen, experienced. Okay, I'll talk with you, pray with you, help you. We can get through it together. I want you to know you're not alone. Okay. So if you want to learn more about me, watch more of my videos, it's Blessed Red. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Instagram. Okay. I just want y'all to know, like, I've been through it and we can go through it together. Okay. I just want you to know hope and healing are possible. You are loved. You are worthy. Okay. So, let's go out and love somebody and help somebody today. Let's lead them to Jesus. Okay, I'm available for prayer or just to talk. You're not alone. If you want to sow into me so I can sow into others, That would be great. If not, I'm gonna keep sewing into others anyway. I'm gonna keep out going and loving and helping however I can. Okay. Jesus loves you. I do too. Have a blessed and amazing day.